The top end market in FC24 is pretty dang high this year, the highest we've seen in probably quite some time, honestly. Gold Kylian Mbappe right now is 3.1 million coins, dear God. If you look at this time last year, he was sitting at about 1.5, 1.4 million coins. So right now you're looking at an Mbappe who is double the price. The top end market is very high. Why am I bringing that up right now? Well, if you want to be able to afford those types of players, you got to pretty much learn to trade or spend all your life savings away on this game. Please do not do the second one. I'm going to show you guys right now how to trade with icons, a method that works all year round. Especially with the market being a little bit higher this year, icons are now more in demand. It is even better than it's been for the past couple of years to use this method. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. If you guys want to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. The link is in the description. Use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. The first thing I'm going to talk about here is your budget. What's your budget going to look like? Do you have enough coins to be able to do this method? I would say you need about 500,000 coins. That's probably what I would say. This is not a method you do the second you get this game. This is a method that requires more coins, but allows you to make more coins on top of each other, if that makes sense. I have 1.6 mil. You don't need that many. I'd say about 500,000 coins. What we're going to do first and foremost, we're going to fill out this starting 11 with icons that you think are in many people's teams that are in your budget. If you have 5 million coins, you can go ahead and put in crazy icons if you want to trade with those. The problem is, of course, 5% tax. It's harder to trade with the crazy end icons. You still can do it. You can make crazy flips on them. It's just more difficult. What I'd say is between about 200,000 coins, 250 to maybe 600K is kind of the prime price point. Let's go fill out the starting 11 with players that are going to be used a lot. Right off the bat, one of my favorite players to trade with this year, Philip Lahm. We're going to put him right in. Socrates, very used icon, going for about 450 to 500,000 coins. Great option there. Let's keep looking through here, see if we see anybody that's in that price range. Laurent Blanc was there, but the problem is his SBC is out. So we don't want to trade with anybody who has their SBC out at the moment. I would stay away from those cards because even though it's been out for a while, their price can kind of vary quickly depending on the price of fodder. So that's not really so good to trade with. Schweinsteiger, for sure, put him in there. Robin Van Persie, totally down with. Desai's a little more expensive. I'm down to put him in though. Let's put in Petites because he's French. He'll be always used more than you kind of expect. Zola's very good this year with finesse shot trait. We'll throw him in there. Michael Ballack, great center mid. Also relatively cheap. Makalele, sure. Why not throw him in there? Let's throw in Zambrata. You can play lots of different positions. And let's throw in Michael Essien maybe to end it. So here's a starting 11 of just players that are relatively used, going to be in demand, and in the price range that I want to keep it in. Throw them in a concept squad, and what you're going to do now is simply just learn the prices of all of these cards. And if you're bored, I want you to come into the screen and just look at the prices of these cards. Philip Lahm right now is going for 470-ish. Looks like 465 is what he's going for here. 465. So remember that. 465 for Philip Lahm. Socrates, I already know, is going for 450 or so. Looks like his cheapest is going to be 455. Yep, so it's exactly what he's going for. And then you go on and on with all of these players. And if you're good with numbers and good remembering them, you can throw in the entire subs and reserves as well if you want to do that. It just gives you a higher chance on landing a good deal. Now, once you learn these prices, it's very easy. All you got to do is say, hey, this card's cheap right now. I'm going to go buy it. And if you want help learning a player's price, well, luckily, we literally have a website that shows you the prices all day, every day. I have not traded with Desai pretty much the entire year. So let me go and learn Marcel Desai's price. If I don't want to just spend time looking up his price all the time, right? 570. So let's go and look at what he's been over the last 14 days. Let's go to hourly in the last 14 days, and you see how consistent this graph is here. I mean, it is remarkably consistent. This is why icon trading is so great, because these are the most stable prices in the game. Let's look at these fluctuations here, even on this graph where the fluctuations actually aren't shown to the level that they really are on the market. You can see 546 here on Sunday, and he goes all the way up to 568 on Sunday. Look at that 20,000 coin difference in 2 hours, right? So there's just little fluctuations on here that you can see are really easy. Look at this one, 528 on Monday, and if you held on to it at your bottom at that time, you're at 570, you're making good coins. So I know that his price range seems to be around 550 to 600K, right around there. Used to be up a little bit higher, now it's kind of between 550 to 575. So now we can say, okay, I've got a pretty good idea what his price is, and now you can wait and see if one gets listed up that you want to buy. And that's the crux of this method. Now, what are the best times to buy? When are the best times to look? Because that's very important for this method also. There's two best times to buy icons. Buy time number one is right after 6 p.m. content when store packs come out. And there's 6 p.m. content and we get store packs. So say there's a tradable 100K pack in here, tradable 50K pack in here, you will see icon supply hit the market. And icon supply is pretty rare. So when you do see supply, that's when you know you're probably going to get a decent deal somewhere in here on some kind of icon. That's buy time number one. Anywhere from content drop to a couple hours after content is always a great time to look because the market rises almost every day after content time. Now, the second time to buy icons, which kind of goes into the next method that I'm going to go and talk about right here. So there is the squad method that I would highly recommend you do for sure. Now, another method to do is this. Go to transfers. and select just icon quality, of course. Search your parameters, whatever your budget is. Mine right now, I want to say between 250 to 550. Let's just go and say that right now, just because I think most people are probably working with something like that. We go all the way to 59th minute. The second best buy time is going to be overnight UK time. And that's what it is right now for me. It's about 6 a.m. UK. It's right towards the end of overnight UK time. You could end up finding some great deals on icons here. Looking through here, you know, Makalele 529 I'm seeing. I can tell that's the cheapest. You know, he goes for about 530 to 560 usually, and right now he's going for about 540. See, somebody already bought that 529 for Makalele, so somebody probably thought that was a good enough deal to go out and buy. So I'd have the squad screen for during the day, and overnight I would come into here onto this screen and kind of just look at some options to buy. Now this one, of course, you got to know a lot more player prices because it's just all the icons listed, but you'll learn them very quickly, quicker than you even realize. Socrates here, 454. He's 1,000 coins under his cheapest, right? Obviously, you're not going to buy that one. So overnight, I'd come in here and just see what kind of deals you can get on some icons. Now, obviously, that begs the question, how do I know what is a deal, what isn't? Especially with the tax that you got to account into your profit. Well, if you can do math quickly in your head, you can calculate the tax pretty quickly and understand what's a deal, what's not. And when you learn the fluctuations of these icon cards and say, hey, they usually kind of go down during the night and up right after content time, a couple hours after, because people are playing the game a lot, you'll just get familiar with trends. And it's that simple. I can't really explain it to you too much other than just say, hey, you're going to get familiar with this the more you look at it. I look through here, and am I seeing much of anything? I see Nedved 257. That's not really a deal at all. He's always between 220 to 250. Right now, he's saying at about 250, so I don't want to buy it. So that's your second way to do this. The next method that works great on the screen as well is after content. Some days, if you know there's going to be a ton of supplies, it's coming up soon for Black Friday, for example, because that is very close from now. What I want you to do is go to the basic filter on icons, because this is a way for basically you to just look at cards that are packed, right? These will be fresh icons that have just been recently packed because they have the basic filter. Usually these are cards that are not used yet, because almost every icon eventually gets a chemistry style. If you go through here right after content drops, it's a bad time to look at basic because it's 6 a.m. UK. No one's packing anything right now, so it's a bad time. You can see here there's almost nothing on the market. Come in here right when store packs drop, a minute, 5 minutes after, and I'm telling you, search the basic filter, you'll be able to find snipes. And what's nice about this method is just the fact that you have these icons that stay relatively the same price, but they fluctuate enough to make a bunch of coins in the middle, if that makes sense. That's basically the gist of this entire method, is just learning what those fluctuation points are. And obviously, once you get to a point where you know all these player prices, like you know what they go for, then you add reserves and subs, and you can look even more. And it's just something fun to do while you're doing nothing. So you're watching a show, something like that, just check these prices, and you're going to find a deal once in a while, and you can make 10, 20, 30, 50K on a deal. Another thing I want to say to you too is do not be afraid to buy, okay? You have to learn how to trade somehow, and you got to make coins. In order to make coins, you have to buy cards. So you can't be afraid to make a mistake and never buy a card, because I used to do that all the time. I learned this method actually from, I think, Fun Economist, who now works at EA, so we won't talk about that, but Run the Foot Market also would do this icon method all the time. When I started learning how to do it, I would always be like, oh my god, is that a good deal? I think it is, but I'm too scared to buy it. You can't be too scared to buy it. Especially when you're just starting, you're probably not even going to make very many coins on your first couple flips. Maybe you do. Your first couple flips, you might just, you know, buy too early. You prematurely press the buy now. And I'd rather you prematurely do it than never do it at all. Which I'm sure there was some sort of sexual joke to make in there, but I couldn't make it. So yeah, it's very easy. The reason it works all year as well is because icons are always going to be rare. They're never going to be cards that are packed a lot. And that's why I actually don't really like trading with the promo icons, because they're packed so much more. I mean, look at the supply on a lot of these cards. They're just packed so much more. So I would probably stay away from these, to be honest with you, but the rest of these are so good to trade with. And I apologize if you're sitting here like, what the fuck? I didn't learn a damn thing. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'd love to reply to you. We make videos every day on the channel, so subscribe if you are new. Love you all. See you in this video very soon. Push.